Last week, the Chiefs survived a surefire win by the Broncos to stay undefeated. The Ravens beat the Bengals in a controversial ending. The Giants went to Germany to play the Panthers, and Jared Goff threw 5 interceptions, only to somehow win the game anyway. Welcome to Shut Up Football. I'm Jeff Stoltzfus. That's Kevin. Join us as we dissect and reflect on Week 10 of the NFL season through songs. No, not songs, jokes. We call it the NFL Roast.
Thursday Night Football went hard. Both quarterbacks threw 4 touchdowns. Jamar Chase got 3 of them, and he had over 260 yards receiving. He was fantasy football crack. Speaking of crack, the Bengals employed a bold new defensive strategy, tackling Derrick Henry's pants. Hard to run for touchdowns when your top speed is a waddle. This is why Penguins never make the NFL. Come on, Bengals! This is a family show. I don't need my kids seeing 2 smooth coconuts in prime time. Stay tuned for next year's alternative uniform, suspenders. In the second quarter, I was tripping balls after eating expired meat. Someone roll me into the bathroom and call a priest. Joe Burrow picked an odd time to get to third base with the ghost he'd been dating. After 1 score, Chase was rewarded with some serious bling. What is that, a maple leaf? Did Jamar Chase just defect to Canada? Sacre bleu! Good luck fighting beavers for bacon at Tim Hortons and running routes on the syrup fields. Chase got another score, but he took his sweet time to get there. I wish he'd stopped at the 1-inch line, which I assume is a thing, and held the game hostage. Nobody move or I'll score this touchdown. I want to see the clock tick and Al Michaels struggle to make sense of it.
No! Go figure that baby out.
The Ravens committed all the penalties on Burrow's final drive. Face mask, holding, coveting thy neighbor's wife, parking in a loading zone. Ravens GM Eric DeCosta sat on Lamar Jackson's lap and practiced smiling like a human. Nope. Kirk Herbstreit made a case for drug testing the announcers.
Grabbed a hold of receiver.
The Bengals had a chance to tie this game late, but Zach Taylor said pound sand logic, we're going for 2. If only it had worked. There were 4 missed penalties on this play, including a hit to Burrow's face. You think Tom Brady or Patrick Mahomes would have walked away from that? They would have bought a condo in the ref's ass and violated the late noise ordinance. Joe Burrow revealed his greatest character flaw. He can play like a champion, but he can't bitch like one. Welcome to Germany, where the Pretzels are bigger than first-round picks. The Panthers were looking for back-to-back wins, something they hadn't experienced, like pride or self-respect. Bryce Young played mistake-free football. Chuba was running Mother Hubbard wild over the Giants, 150 yards, 1 touchdown. The people of Germany were treated to offsetting penalties when a game is stopped, just to reveal there are no consequences.
Hey, friend!
Fuck! Things got tricky when that dog from Ghostbusters took over the stadium. Kurt Warner and Rich Eisen called this game from a void. You couldn't have green screened a potted plant or something? It was a rough outing for Danny Deutschmark. 2 turnovers on the day, but Vanilla Vic did manage to blitzkrieg for 6 and send the game to overtime. The Giants won the coin toss, but Tyrone Tracy fumbled it back to the Panthers. But you didn't hear that from me. Schnitzels get schnitzels. Bryce got a break, and the Panthers got a win streak. Today's weather, boring. This game suffered 5 field goals and 13 punts. Caleb Williams was sacked 9 times. Whoever put Stop Hate on the back of their helmets never had to watch this game. If the Patriots were a measuring stick, the Bears were beaten to death by it. Nothing has changed. The Bears remain a carnival of garbage, and there's no one else to blame but the head clown, Matt Eberflus. Caleb Williams has a better chance developing scurvy than developing under this man. These fans deserve a better hero, or at the very least, a better class of villain. Flee! Flee, my children! Back to your cold, damp, dusty, overpriced homes to drink your troubles away. It was hotter than a jalapeno's asshole in Florida. Ricky Pearsall scored his first pro touchdown, proving he can catch more than just bullets. Mayfield was walking around without his shoe, like it was his first day in prison. Was he nervous, or was he just about to barefoot this bitch? The Hertz rent-a-car guy was at it again.
There were 4 guys right there. One grenade could have killed them all.
That's a pretty weird way to put things, Brady. What in your charmed life has led you to measuring things by grenade radius? Bucky Irving was like a bottle of ketchup after an acupuncture session. He was squirting all over the place and found the end zone for 6. Niners kicker Jake Moody missed 3 field goals, and Kyle Shanahan was looking for a child to punch. You know they're not there, Kyle. 100 yards like the restraining order says. Deebo Samuel was taking shots at the kicking unit, which is not what the name implies. Good job, Deebo. Reveal that character. I'd pay good money to see him long snapped into the stands. Mayfield dog-walked Nick Bosa and converted a 4th down like a boss. He was evading headlocks and spinning pirouettes all day. You want to take on Baker Mayfield, you better join a fight club or take a ballet class. You're gonna learn a lot of things about yourself when he headbutts you without a helmet and plies in the moment. Welcome to Arrowhead. Let's talk feet. Hey, I'm up here, ya filthy podiatrist. Bo Nix had 2 touchdowns early, connecting with Devon Bailey and Cortland Sutton. There were rumors of the dead rising from under the field throughout the game, but I guess that's par for course when you build your stadium on a genocide and make their culture your plaything. Patrick Mahomes was sacked more than once. Finally, the refs stepped in.
Keep your hands off my poor sweet baby.
Bo Nix was tackled so far behind the line, I thought he was gonna jump into the ref's arms. Nix put his team in range for a chip shot field goal to win the game, but the Chiefs blocked it after half the team broke through the line. The Chiefs remain undefeated, and Patrick Mahomes' lucky underwear goes unwashed for another concerning week. Josh Allen ran for his 57th touchdown, second most for the franchise. One more and he gets a free sub. He's tied with O.J. Simpson on hopefully just this one thing. On 4th down, Flacco tried to get the Bills to jump off sides by luring them with the song of his people. But he didn't sell it. He's got the acting instincts of a damn sponge. You'll never see him guest star on Law & Order. Coach Steichen's interview must have coincided with a mugging, or he just did a rail in the bathroom.
He responded great. I think the biggest thing for us offensively is we got to score touchdowns in the red zone right now. You know, we got down there a few times, had some opportunities, had to settle for 3, so we got to score touchdowns in the second half.
Flacco was stripped of the ball, and Damar Hamlin jumped on it. It was the second most impressive recovery Damar Hamlin has ever made. Joe Flacco turned the ball over 4 times, and on his last, he looked into the camera like he was on The Office. Colts fans were booing him. They wanted Anthony Richardson to throw those interceptions. And according to the numbers, he might as well. Go ahead, Colts. Bring in Sham Newton. The Steelers have found a solid steward in Russell Wilson. He threw 3 touchdowns, including one to newly acquired Mike Williams. He wasn't appreciated with the Jets. Or maybe he was running the wrong routes on purpose to provoke a trade. Well played, Mike. Jaden Daniels had some trouble with his receivers, mainly that they couldn't catch the ball, a somewhat noticeable aspect of their daily routine. So the Commanders pivoted to their ground game. Austin Eckler for a pair of scores, and our lone source of inspiration through the ancient art of air guitar. The Steelers faked a punt, but the receiver botched it, and I learned that the special teams coach Danny Smith skips when he's angry. Where's Grandpa? Nana cheated on him. He's outside, frolicking. It was a vicious battle, except for that part where Dan Quinn lost his mind for a glass of milk. Just bring the cow. How embarrassing, Commanders. You just got beat by the Carlton Banks of the NFL. Human boat shoes Mac Jones got the start for the Jags. Turns out he's an OG Florida man, which explains a lot. Look at that adorable little towhead. This game stayed competitive, thanks to the Vikings playing down to the Jaguars level. Sam Darnold was picked off 3 times. I guess the good times are gone for the ginger and purple. The Jaguars tried to crowd surf Cam Akers. This ain't no Jimmy Buffett concert. The Jaguars could have gotten the ball back late, but Trayvon Walker went on a punching spree. His furious little fist cost them the down and the game. It was the first Saints game without Dennis Allen, and they were already winners. He was replaced by Rizzy, which sounds like a backup dancer in a strip club. Desperate for receivers, the Saints had just signed Marquez Valdez-Scantling. I hate hyphenate names. You're wasting my time. Just combine them like Benifer or Labradoodle. He went for 100 yards and scored 2 touchdowns. Did Fox Sports hire a serial killer as a cameraman? What's with the camera creeping? Young Wei Koo was rejected by the goalpost. It swiped left on him. One of 3 missed field goals in this game. The Falcons ran out of ammo and clock, and the Saints got the win. Gus Edwards was back from injury. Part of the Chargers' 3-point plan to screw with your fantasy team. The Chargers defense went with a wet blanket approach. They got to Will Levis for 7 sacks. Jim Harbaugh was having flashbacks like it was Vietnam, of when he threw footballs to a young coach, what's his name? Nobody knows. Justin Herbert was pumping defenders out of their ankles. He had a pair of touchdowns. They even gave one to former Titan Hassan Haskins, which was a nice flex and one I can understand. Sometimes I'd go to McDonald's to use the bathroom and leave without ordering a goddamn thing. The Titans coach said it was death by 1,000 paper cuts, which I don't believe would actually kill you, but I take your point. Origami is hard. This movie felt like a mob hit, as the Jets were buried in the desert. Kyler Murray scored 3 touchdowns. Come on, Murray! Pick on someone your own size, like a toddler or that doll from Chucky. I wish Baker Mayfield would marry Buda Baker and become Baker Baker. Although I guess it's legal to just change your name. Trey McBride took Sauce Gardner for a short journey. He broke a tackle and earned a 5-star Uber review. Later, Trey won $10 on a scratcher and he was fucking pumped. Murray was hit so hard, his head came off. Keep the head, Quincy. Make a lamp out of it and use it to read before bed. I'd put the pull chain in the nose.
I has flag?
No, you don't.
I want to throw flag.
You can.
Rodgers went to the medical tent, presumably to debate vaccine efficacy. They checked him for a head injury. What took you so long? Woody was there, overseeing his kingdom of pain. Why does everyone keep saying the Jets are desperate? I see no signs that they're trying. The Cowboys were led by failed Gatorade flavor Cooper Rush. Jalen Hurts sidestepped the Cowboys defense to score 4 touchdowns, including one to 10-foot-tall rookie Johnny Wilson. He's a decent receiver and the first to know when it rains. Ezekiel Elliott fumbled the ball into the end zone. Nice that at least one of them got there. The Eagles forced the ball out of Rush's hands, and the Cowboys showed the recovery ability of a pile of laundry. Thank God there weren't 2 rakes on the field, or they'd still be out there. AT&T Stadium has a sun problem. That big-ass window needs a big-ass shade. Jerry Jones said he knows where the sun is in his own damn stadium. Yeah, in CeeDee Lamb's eyes, frying his corneas in 8K like ants under a microscope. Suck it up, Jones. Some curtains would really spruce that shitbox up. Maybe a rug to tie it all together. Fans were calling for Tony Romo to go in. Instead, they got Trey Lance, which is like asking for a life preserver and being handed that door from Titanic. The Eagles sent Kenny Pickett in. He said he needed footage of himself looking better than he actually is, and the Cowboys were perfect for it. They did the brotherly shove with him, also known as the Pickett push or the Kenny linguist. Mike McCarthy looked furious. Physically, he was there, but mentally, he was at IHOP. The Cowboys turned the ball over 5 times and embarrassed themselves. This is America's team? I want a recount. The Texans were dressed like a pack of recycled tampons and ready for war. Jared Goff was intercepted 5 times. That's more licks than it takes to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop. What'd he do? Piss off a gypsy? The Texans got up early. Joe Mixon ran for a score. Leukemia didn't bury John Mechie, but the depth chart did. Not tonight. Welcome to relevancy. Last receiver standing. Dan Campbell strikes me as the kind of guy who needlessly sets traps around his house. The Lions are a team built on grit and PEDs. They fought their way back into this game. Jake Bates painted the inside of the goalpost to tie it, and feeling a need for symmetry, he painted the other one too for the win. The Dolphins were moving the ball in chunks. Rookie Malik Washington scored his first pro touchdown. Tyreek Hill scored 2 and celebrated by showcasing his 2-man dance troupe, the Broken Hips. Jared Verse, same as the first. The Rams forced a fumble from Tagovailoa and came away with it. It wasn't the only time they got to him. Like a heifer in a hurricane, there was a lot of beef on the move. This game was out of control. People were taste testing each other's earwax. The rapture came, and the Lord told Ram Michael Hoyt, everyone but you.
Even Tyreek?
The Rams kicked a field goal on third down. Sean McVay was drunk again, listening on the sideline and saying it's always fourth down somewhere. Onside kicks are useless. It's like throwing 3 eggs in a frying pan down a flight of stairs and expecting to come away with an omelet. Look at that stupid thing wobble. I keep telling you, pick one guy and kick it at him as hard as you can. The only way to get this back is on a ricochet. Trust me, all it takes is one outie to become an innie, like a reverse New Year's Eve. Hard for them to recover a kick when their entire hands crew is using them to protect their family thunder beans.
And now for the soft pretzel of the week.
Yummy.
This week, the pretzel goes to Colts fans, who maybe aren't too pleased with the way their team has been handling Anthony Richardson. They brought signs to last week's game that read, "Free AR," only to have them confiscated by security, or in some cases, denied entry to the game until they ditched them. And as you can imagine, this made fans even angrier. You should be able to voice your freedom of speech through whatever art project you want, whether it's to support a player, fire a coach, or sell the team. We've seen this kind of thing before with the Raiders and the Commanders, and typically, it comes straight from the owner. I support you, embattled Colts fans, with this week's Salt Pretzel of the Week. Stay salty, my friends. Thank you so much for watching Shut Up Football. We do appreciate it. Please leave your comments below. Say hi to your mom for me, and we'll see you next week. Peace!
Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys. It sound right, boy.